So today, in Facts and Opinions, we're going to talk about the NFL and the fact that I think that the protests are working.
I want to say this before we get into that. The protests, they are, they bringing awareness. The NBA season is back.
Right. They got to do.
The sports is back to compete with the NFL.
Exactly.
So I think now they trying to, because why did they wait? This is week 7. Why did they wait? All right, sure. This is a year and a half later, really. But for this season, this week 7 in this season, and now they want to start taking action.
Okay, so let's tell them what happened. The NFL and the executives and owners and the NFL Players Association had a meeting. And at the end of the meeting, they came out with this letter and they said, okay, we know that there's been stuff going on. Basically, to wrap it up, that's what the letter says. I could find the letter, but it basically just says, okay, we know that our players, are working with their communities because there's some stuff going on and we respect that, the whole spiel. It's basically them saying, okay, we know why you're kneeling. What can we do to help? So basically now what a few of the players have done, and I saw Malcolm Jenkins and Anquan Bolden get online, and they said, hey, this is what we want. We want in Pennsylvania, we want reform the money bail system, which I think is a great idea. But we're getting down to some actual reasons, some actual, demands. You know what I mean? It was kind of just out there okay, we just want justice for the killings, but behind that there's a whole lot more. So now they're just starting to break it down, and I think that's a good idea. I mean, if you as a player get into your neighborhood and your community and your town and do something like what they're doing, then it'll be more of an acquirable goal. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of just out there, right? So now we're getting it to a point where we can narrow it down what some of the problems are, get some faces behind that problem, and bring awareness to it. So the money bail system, as you know, you go to jail, you got a bail, right? You put 10%, but you never get that 10% back.
Right.
So if you don't have any money, or if your family doesn't have any money, you could be in jail forever. How are you supposed to fight your case? So they just want that whole thing reformed, because basically what that does is put poor people in a situation where they could just spend time in jail simply because they're poor.
True.
So they want that. And I think that each town and each city should pay attention to stuff like that. And if they want to be the face behind that, then that's great.
Now, I got 2 things. First, what would be the alternative to the money bill? And secondly, these are topics that need to be talked about, but does the NFL really have that much power to kind of change the government?
I mean, you guys tell me. Do you guys? I mean, this is like.
I know it's the issues need to be spoken on, but
NFL people are held at such high regard in this country. Then yeah.
I mean, influence wise, I guess they got the control to the influence the voters and
absolutely,
raise awareness to those different
I mean, it's not them. As far as the black people go, who are we most influenced by? Athletes and entertainers. Yeah. And until we get to the point where we would rather be more informed than entertained, those are the people that we're going to have to lean to, is to influence the young people and the grown people too, because they pay attention to sports and entertainment too. But it's going to be an NFL player. It ain't going to be, clearly it's not going to be the entertainers, because I don't know what they talking about now.
Right. I was able to read up on a little bit about the meeting, and I was glad that it wasn't just about the anthem. They said it wasn't about the anthem, and I'm glad that they able even to come together and talk and be able to see each other's perspectives.
Yes, because that's all they wanted you to do in the first place. Yeah. All they wanted the owners to do was to recognize that something was going on, respect their mind. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
And I think that's a huge step. Even though it might be, propaganda just because they might be losing money, but that's good,
that's
good
great.
It's, again,
and that's why I said it's working.
Points of views, and maybe these owners were kind of closed off to where, we don't care about that because they're not affected by it. Now we sitting face to face with the people that's making us money and understanding, okay, now we understand why y'all doing this. Y'all not doing this to disrespect the flag.
Because where do you think they get these players from? These neighborhoods. Exactly. Who do you think is watching these games? These kids in these neighborhoods. So. Exactly. That's what the NFL players are going to the owners and they're saying. So I know that this one guy, because it was in New York, the meeting that they had, and the Cowboys owner, is his name Jerry Jones?
Yeah, Jerry
okay,
Jones.
So Jerry Jones was on his way to the meeting, and this guy jumps out, and did you hear what he said?
I heard he was going off on it.
Oh my God, that was so awesome.
Let's throw it to the video and let the people check it out.
Yes. You want to treat them like $40 million slaves. Gladiators are well paid to beat each other's brains out, but have to keep their mouths shut when talking about injustice. Look at the videos of the police getting away with murder and tell me that the players are wrong to protest and that they have no right to do that. People need to take a knee against white supremacy, and people need to stand up against you and your buddy Donald Trump and drive his whole regime out, and it begins November 4th. Take a knee against white supremacy.
It begins November 4th. Protests begin November 4th.
So that gave me life. That gave me so much life. Like, that is what everybody's been trying to say to this guy for the longest, okay? So whoever I'm going to find him, and we going to follow him. And we all going to follow him, and that might be one of our leaders. So speaking of what we were talking about before, the money bail system, guess who is funding the fight against the money bail system? You'll be so surprised. Guess who's going to be the face of that fight, just overall across the country?
Who?
Mark Zuckerberg and his wife.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Wasn't that at the money bail system? That was only in Philly, though, wasn't it? They were trying.
Right. But that's what I'm saying about the NFL players. I mean, that's cool because they play for the Eagles. One used to, one does now. I guess.
Pennsylvania, not Philly, but Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So I mean, just imagine if each person that's kneeling knelt for a cause like that. You know what I mean? Right. That would be awesome. I mean, if it's not that, just if something happens to somebody in your state or in your community or, wherever your team plays at, and you knelt on the behalf of that to bring awareness to that, you know what I'm saying? Then that would be good.
But my thing is, man, is the action behind the awareness. Like, okay, you kneel, you bring awareness to it. Now what's next? That's always my question. Like, what's next?
Reform. You vote and you get reform. It all
sound good, but it seems like that never goes. It never goes any further than awareness. Like these protests, we've been protesting since Trayvon Martin, and it's still happening.
But look how far it's gotten now, though.
I mean, I guess it's a slow process. I guess it is a slow process, and
I mean, we've been marching since Dr. Martin Luther King,
marching for a while, but
now we have the means, though. You know what I mean? Like we have,
but I don't think we maximizing it like we should, because we got the means, we got the social media, we can put out whatever we want. I mean, it's not like they're not stopping us from getting money. They're not stopping us from, we can really be in power. They're not stopping us from being in power.
No.
We allowing them in our mind to stop us from being in power. But if we
in our mind,
that's it. And that's what I'm saying.
We just never get to that next step. But this, I think, is a wonderful thing. So Mark Zuckerberg and his wife are funding this company called Civil Rights Corporation.
Okay. So what's the
Civil Rights Corporation has filed several lawsuits against jurisdictions that have a cash bail system. They hold people facing minor charges in jail because they lack the cash to purchase their freedom. We talked about that. This article I read is on politics. It's on politics on the HuffingtonPost.com. So often poor defendants plead guilty to a crime and then they can't get out of jail. So the Civil Rights Corp initiative is fighting for a better criminal justice system that advances human potential and promotes equal opportunity. So they had some success in some landmark cases in Houston. Houston has the highest per capita death rate of any jail in this country. So it's like once you get into the jail, you're just in their hands, and Lord knows whatever happened, just like with Sandra Bland and all that stuff. So there's actually, we actually could follow this company, the Civil Rights Corporation. They're creating the initiative, and they're putting their some money into this, and I mean they're putting like a lot of money behind this company, and I think that this is just the kind of thing that when you bring awareness to it, you never know who is going to take over and be the face of it and put money into it. True. So when you find out that something like this is going on, you know, Facebook got a lot going on right now. They do,
and you still got to keep in mind that, you know, the jail system is a business.
Absolutely.
So, you know,
jails are private.
That's an uphill battle. That's definitely an uphill battle.
Yeah, because you have to keep. But see, that's what I'm saying. Once we know all this, it's like, oh, I see what they're trying to do now, and we see the tools that they're using. Mm-hmm. Are they using the music? Are they using all these, you know, bad images on television to try to influence us? Because once you get in jail, you can't get out. It's hard to get out. You go through the system, you know what I mean? Like, it's just systematic. It's hard
to even get back, you know,
on your feet to vote. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. For people a lot of people still do not believe in the power of your vote. That is the only thing that makes you equal to a rich person, to a white, to a brown, to a yellow, whatever. Mm-hmm. You each have one vote. You know what I mean? And you just really have to use it. And Barack Obama was out here this week saying that too. He was in Newark, New Jersey. They were opening, I think there was a museum that they were at, and he was saying, hey, if you don't like what's going on, you gotta vote. But damn, he's been saying that.
Right. Well, I'm gonna definitely keep an eye on that, man.
Yeah, keep an eye and vote, people. Vote.